Three, two, one, go.
It's Dan.
And this is Harold Sullivan. Welcome to the Sullivan Project podcast. Hey Google, what time is it? 7:07 p.m. 7:07. All right. So we got about 7:35 or so. We'll go. All right. Yeah. All right. What's up, everyone? Talking to Dan here. We haven't spoke since we were supposed to go to church that one day. But we'll
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
We'll get into
What
that.
you up to?
Yeah, we'll get into that. Let me do the podcast information in case people want to find stuff. The Sullivan
Yeah,
Project podcast on YouTube, Harold Sullivan 78, and we're also on TikTok, Harold Sullivan 78, and then on Facebook, Harold Sullivan period 35. If you want to call in the show, 724-513-1472, and you can leave a message or I might answer. And if you want to talk to Dan or any of the other guests, or if you want to be on the show, and we appreciate comments, likes, shares. Just follow anything. And everyone has a story. You can't judge a book by its cover, and that's what we're all about here. We talk about everything, no judgment, just love and light, and sports, entertainment, music, movie, arts, spiritual stuff. Religion, whatever. Just a place to hang out and be safe, pretty much. Who else? Like, what else could you want? Somewhere to go, just hang out and talk, no judgment,
yeah,
and just be you, right?
yeah,
So yeah, let's get back to that church. I left you some messages, but
yeah,
you said you don't. First, you said you don't check your messages, then you said you do. So I leave them anyway, but I don't know if you check them. But
yeah.
yeah, I was outside that day. I called you because I couldn't get. They didn't show up to pick me up to go to church. I was out in the rain calling. Did you get that message?
Yeah, I got it.
Late. You got it late though, because after I was. Where were you at when I was calling you?
I left my phone at home.
Oh my gosh! You see, that's how these things happen.
Yeah.
And then people have no clue. Well, where was Greg? Greg was with you. What was wrong with his phone?
Greg,
Greg's
Greg
phone
was
was
there
shut
when,
off.
when Greg was waiting for you.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know if Greg ever been to that service there at Josh's.
yeah, he'd been there lots of times, but his phone
I
was,
didn't know.
huh?
That's the first time I met him there, so I don't
Yeah, he'd
know.
been there before. But let me tell you what happened. I was out in the rain, waiting at 6:20. They still weren't here. I'm calling them up. Then they said four different excuses of why they didn't come. So I'm done trying to do that with UPMC. So I tried to call you and couldn't get you up until 7. I called Greg. His phone was turned off, and his girlfriend's phone. So that's all I can do. Amen. I mean, I'm out there in the rain waiting on the bus that didn't come, and then I called y'all to let you know I couldn't make it, and just to try to see maybe if you could, get me in the car on the way there with the fold-up wheelchair. But your phone, you left it at home, and Greg's phone was shut off because I guess he didn't pay it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then people were calling me up wondering where I'm at. Well, I'm stuck here like I always am. I feel like I'm being failed by the system, which I'm going to do more on that in the future about UPMC because this is disgusting.
Yeah. So,
Cause
so I woke up today. I had a good day, and my friend called me. He said, got my other friend picked me up. We went up to the wave pool with him, my friend, and his our friend.
yeah,
You know,
so that's why I didn't
talk-
get to church that day. I'm just letting you know, and unless you can find me or somebody else can find me a way, I can't. I have no way to get there.
well, the UPMC thing ain't gonna provide you a
That's
ride.
that's uh, that's what I just told you.
Oh yeah, yeah,
What about the last 3 out of 4 before that?
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
well, I just filed a bunch of grievances, and that's all I can do. And there's no more companies left, so I have no way to get to church unless I can get a
Yeah, so
car ride.
I went up to the wave pool today,
So
and
yeah, you were
I
telling me
was out
earlier.
there. Had some hot chicks up there.
Yeah, but we're not gonna get into.
I understand.
We got
And
less than a half hour. We can't be talking about women's bodies on.
I know. And then yeah, but then I went up there, and then I came back. I had an
Okay.
anxiety-free day. The whole day has been anxiety-free.
Yeah. Oh well.
Anxiety-free since I woke up at 11 or 12,
Yeah.
and then anxiety-free all the way up till now. I got anxiety-free about 7 or 8 hours. No anxiety.
Well, that's good.
I would
Uh.
have got it if I didn't go to the wave pool, because if I wouldn't have got out, it would have made it
Yeah.
worse. I'm getting
Yeah.
out tomorrow. I go to this program,
Today's the
and
first. Today's the
yeah,
first
there's
time
gonna
I've
be a
been
lot of
out.
people there.
Huh?
Well, there's gonna be like 7 and 12 people there, but it's cool. It's good to get out the house and go. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
have
want to
friends
too,
there.
but nobody will come and get me to take me anywhere. It's not. It's Like,
Yeah, I hear you, man.
uh,
I kind
so
of understand.
so let's
Watch.
calm down here and get to the podcast stuff. So so yeah, I didn't make it to church that day, so I've been doing this. I talked to Greg once since then because I don't know what I'm gonna do here, but
Yeah,
so have you been? Did you give out some podcast cards yet or anything?
yeah, I did a couple of them.
And you
Yeah,
wear your hat sometimes that I gave you?
yeah, sometimes.
Because
Yeah,
I gave Dan the podcast hat. That's what to promote the thing. If people don't see it, they have no clue. And we're trying.
yeah,
I'm trying to help God. I mean, if you want to help God as well, that's just something easy to do. Wear the hat, and just to give
yeah,
people. I'm not saying I'm God, but I'm trying to do my part in it. Remember how the preachers or pastor said that we're both limited or quote unquote can't really do anything, and that's not cool. Well, we could wear a hat or a card, or pass out a thing, or just mention something nice to someone once in a while. And
yeah,
that's what I want to talk about. You know, everybody needs somebody sometimes, and what's like about being a good Christian. Remember you asked me about the Bible last time, and I was going to say some stuff with the testimony about the. So let me tell you about the Bible. Actually, I'm almost done with the seventh time now, so I got about 8 or so hours left, and I'll be in the eighth time now. Go
7 times, seven. Read the Bible 7 times.
in
Going on 8 times.
in
That's
two
amazing.
in two
That's
years.
something I can never. I don't think I'll ever live to say that I did that.
In two, well, I never thought I'd get past the first page. Years ago, I had it on my computer, right, bookmark, and I did the first page. I didn't understand the words at all.
Yeah,
You know, because the way it's just they spoke differently. But when you're turned on, or when you switch on, when things are the right time, you know that just how. It's like now I listen to it and I can understand the language and
yeah,
I can visual, not really visualize, but I can imagine almost just okay, I'm back there in the time and I'm eating the bread with them and watch Jesus is walking across the water. That's just cool, you know,
yeah,
and it makes me feel good. How can that not make you feel good? Just the magical stories.
yeah, yeah,
But what I got from the Bible, when you asked me, was I just got like a roadmap. Remember, I was telling you like a purpose. You know, the God, we're all here for a reason, and we're all different. We might have handicaps. Lots of people in the Bible were all misfits and things. All Jesus's disciples were all rejects, right? They weren't perfect. Neither was Jesus. He was the closest one though, and because he's the Son of God and God reincarnation. But
wow,
yeah, you have to. They were all rejects. You know what I mean? They all had. And then all the people in the Bible, they were blind, lame people, handicapped people. You know, and Jesus healed all of them. Nobody in that
yeah,
Bible was perfect. So that's what I got from that. And what I got from that was just being a good Christian, being a good friend. Anybody, it doesn't even have to be all about just saying the word Christian. Just being good, being the best you can be. And if that's answering a call, like when you, if I need help and I call you and I'm crying, I'm not ashamed to admit I'm a full grown man and I cry because I get pain. But you know what? That relieves us. You know, we might feel good, sad at that moment, but later on, how much better do we feel when that pain is, and that crying is out? You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I'm crying. That's a good thing, and it just, and I only do that now because I just there's so much pain in the world that I feel it, and it just makes me I don't understand it because I'm not like that. I'm from love and light, like we're supposed to be, and we're all we're all from God, and we're not supposed to have sadness. So it hurts me even more because I don't understand it. I'm not that way. I don't want to purposely do this and that to people, but people are like that. Human beings, not naturally though, but even the Bible it says though they're the natural to commit sin after the first one, you know.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I don't do that. To my core, I do not want to hurt nobody. So I don't even do that. That's an excuse, man. Be good. Don't be an excuse. Oh well, we're supposed to sin and Jesus died, so we're free and we can sin. No, be a better person. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's just bull crap. Okay, yes, he died and all that for our sins, but that doesn't mean you can go ahead and sin and it's okay because he
yeah,
died for us. I mean, that would make it all like pointless if he died and we're still just committing sins. It's like pooping in someone's food dish. You know,
yeah,
it's like a hamster pooping in a bowl where they eat. They don't do that, and it's
yeah,
terrible. It's like we're living in a big hamster cage and we're just pooping and crapping everywhere, tearing up everything, and just destroying what God made. And that saddens me. So that's when I cry, when I feel that pain, and I don't understand why. Because you can't never explain to me why people do what they do,
Yeah.
or why it is the way it
What
is.
you've been going through for the last 2 years
But
or your whole life?
yeah, since I've been blind, yeah, I went blind a little over 2 years ago, and then all my stuff senses are kicking in, my quote unquote psychic stuff, and I was feeling okay earlier. I've been sick the last few days and just sleeping all day every day, and I'm going through them phases where I can't sleep at all at night, and then I'm awake all day. I mean, I'm awake
Yeah.
all day and I can't sleep at night. That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
backwards since I lost my sight. And I was born with an autoimmune disease, in case y'all haven't tuned in before, called JRA. Uh, but yeah, so
Doing that rheumatoid arthritis.
yeah, it doesn't sound like it's really old arthritis, but it's really rare, and it causes a lot. And I have one of the worst cases I ever came across. Usually
Got
some,
to a kid.
usually yeah, and I was born with it. But usually, the kids can walk and stuff, and they're just a little different looking, maybe, but not like not what happened to me from all the surgeries and everything I've had to go through, and it's just gotten worse and worse. And then losing my sight, like I said, 40 something years old, I lose my sight, and then it just hit me. I was done. But yeah, earlier I went out today and had to go to the dispensary to get my medicine, and then I was okay. And then this one girl held my hand for 2 or 3 seconds. Right, she's real nice, and then I come back home and I freaking knock out, and then I feel sick, and I'm like, oh god, I don't know. It's either I'm picking up stuff from people, it's my energy. Like I can touch someone and I can feel their stuff, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to get sick from touching someone. You know what I mean? But this has happened more than once now. The same person, like I'll be all energied up, like I'm like they touch my hand and I'm all brightened up, like high on energy, and then like an
Yeah.
hour later I'll just pass out. And I don't know if she does it on purpose. It's a lady, because people they can do their energy, and like I'm learning how to. I have to learn how to use my energy, or otherwise I'll go crazy. But people can take energy from you, especially if they touch you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's doing it on purpose or what, or she's just giving me a good energy and then sucking, and it's just draining me later, and I'm tired. But that happened that one day when I went to that church with you, the Catholic, was it one of them churches, where that one dude was having problems. He was talking, right, and then remember he came up and kind of touched my hand at the end, and when we went out, I almost puked because I just could feel all his like depression and all the stuff he was talking about. He was bipolar and stuff. He was
What
having.
was that at? The Baptist church.
I think it was. Yeah, I remember when at the beginning when people were talking about prayers.
We went to church all over the place. We went to the
Yeah,
Baptist church. We went to the chapel in the
we
Ambridge.
went to Mormon church, and then I went down to
We went
Salvation
to
Army.
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah,
We
that's
went to
just
Latter-day
Latter Day
Saints.
Saints, and then the Salvation Army. I went down there.
I wasn't at the Salvation Army.
I went there about a month or a month and a half, and I liked it. But again, 10, 12 people, and then a few times they're closed up and don't even let anybody know. And you go down there, and the doors are locked, and the voicemail
Yeah.
it doesn't have the thing changed. So
We were gonna call down there and see if we could get you in there and see if we could get somebody to meet up with you at your house and walk down with you.
I could do that anytime. I just have to have someone meet come here and go with me. I can
Oh,
I could take the other any wheelchair. Someone will walk with me. I don't need a vehicle because that's only like a block away.
yeah, yeah.
But if you ever want to go, you got to get down here in the morning because they won't come in. Like they came and got me and got you that one day, and now they won't do that anymore. It's stupid. UPMC. They said I can't pick up someone. They're gonna let me know why though. They're gonna call me back to court here. They can't pick you up unless you're here at the house. That's dumb. You know.
Oh, me?
Yeah, and they won't pick up anybody unless they're here. But before they said I could go, they could pick me up and then go get someone, and then go.
Yeah,
Now they changed the rules again. That's what I mean.
yeah,
I don't need all that. That's too much negative energy, and I don't have the time. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
so let me talk about a couple things. Then we're gonna get into some stuff about you that I want to talk about because we're gonna. Uh, so for people that are into UFOs, I don't know if you've heard or you're in the news and that, but they just had a conference today again. Was supposed to, and they've been having one recently. And this isn't fantasy stuff because you don't keep up with the news, but they're actually coming out in the news now and telling people that they have unidentified aerial phenomenon. They call it now instead of UFO.
yeah.
And they're supposed to Congress was supposed to have another meeting today about what they're going to release information. But they actually passed a thing that says that they have to release it to the public now when they have flying saucer information.
Yeah.
So this is a real thing. This is becoming here. This ain't no movie stuff. The government is actually saying that there's something from somewhere else, and it's not man-made. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, that's dangerous because if they don't know what it is and they can't stop it, then what can happen? How can they keep us safe?
Yeah.
So the government is actually coming out now and saying that there's UFOs. They're not
Wow.
they're not saying what's in them or who's flying them, but they're saying they're not us. They're not man-made. They're not humankind. And so they were supposed to have another meeting today. There should be another update. But this is coming out like every month, every couple of weeks, new news and information. And they even had it on TV. They're showing the airplanes with the freaking UFOs because they can't hide it anymore. You know, the
Yeah.
government says we don't know what this is. It's flying around from real fast from one side to the other, bam, and it's like there's no way anything can go that fast. And it's
Yeah.
happened so much that they can't hide it. So let me talk about that, and then one more thing about owls. I didn't know, owls. The bird owl.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been hearing them for. Used to hear them all the time, and especially when I was losing my sight early in the morning, I'd be awake and I could hear the birds when they come out. And then the other day, my brother-in-law told me it was an owl I was hearing because I was like, that's what I've been hearing. And so I've always had a fascination with owls. And my
Yeah.
grandma used to have this like old lamp. You know how back in like the 80s and that they had like table lamps that were weird and they had like animals and it was like a lamp on the table, but it was owls. It was a couple owls like shaped. It was like owls, and it had the lamp
Yeah.
on it. And I always liked it. It was just weird. And then yeah, he told me that. And then owls actually means wisdom, right?
Did they still have that big fish down there, that Oscar?
No, he died, I think, but they got another fish.
What kind do they have now?
I don't know. Probably one that eats stuff. My leg
Oh.
is hurting, so I got to keep moving here. I got to move from one side to the other because I can't lean on my one hip too long. I got
Yeah.
like a nerve there. But yeah, the owl represents wisdom, which actually goes back to when I heard that word in Hebrew that one morning when I woke up, and
Yeah.
wisdom. So I don't know, but the wisdom, and then that tree that I used to dream about, which I think was the tree of knowledge. You know, in the
Hmm.
Bible, the tree of knowledge. I mean, if that's the case, I can actually go back to being around back in the days when that tree was real,
Yeah.
because I remember it in my dream. Why am I dreaming about a big tree? It's the tree of
Yeah.
knowledge. So I wanted to bring up those two. Uh, hey Google, what time is it?
It's 7:25 p.m.
Okay, we got about 10 minutes. Okay, so I want to get into stuff because you mentioned before about the last time you went in the hospital. We want to get in. Uh, when
Yeah.
you were how old were you when you had that first breakdown? You were like 16, right?
Yeah. 15, I think.
16. And what was that? It's just too much pressure on you, or was it one thing that just was like bam?
Just I grew up tough, man.
Yeah, I
I had,
know.
had a rough life, dude.
Well, you mentioned what happened when you were young. Do you want to get into that detail, or you
No,
just?
no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay. Well, I talked
I,
about it before.
look, I got anxiety,
Yeah.
and you know,
Well, what happened after that? After the childhood part, I mentioned it on the very first podcast. Go back. Dan's best friend is called.
mhm.
That's what I named it. But after that, you were what? It says 7, 8, 9, 10. After that, right when you're 15, 16, what you're getting into drugs and that already? Is that what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
And then what was it that just was leading up to bam? You broke down.
It was like too much on me. I just
Your,
couldn't take it
your
anymore.
dad's gone, right? Or
Yeah.
whoever, he's
My
gone.
mom,
Just your
my
mom.
mom, my
Yeah.
mom put me in the hospital, and I was in the hospital with adults. It could have been like I could have went to Southwood
Yeah.
instead of like
Yeah, but what
other.
happened to it? Because people need to know if they're going through symptoms,
Um,
they got to go get help.
I wasn't diagnosed with it, mental illness at that time, Joey.
No, so
So,
how did you find out?
um,
Did you break down? Did you try to kill yourself? I mean,
I was like, well, I don't know what happened. I freaked out, and everybody was like, my mom took me to the hospital. I was in there for like 3 weeks or a month or something like that.
okay,
I got out and I did good for so long,
yeah,
and then went back in. You know what I mean? I've been in the hospital 20, 30
yeah,
times.
that's what you were saying. But when did you first figure out that you had schizophrenia or whatever,
Yeah, well,
and
that's a
ADD?
little bit
What is it exactly? Schizophrenia. Then you have ADHD or just ADD?
got schizoaffective and
Okay. Effective.
ADD, and
ADD.
I basically got I think what the doctor was trying to tell me, I got schizoaffective with bipolar. So
Yeah.
I have paranoia, I have mania, I
Yeah.
hear voices,
Jesus.
I have delusions, but it's all. I've been going through this. I got diagnosed with schizo probably about wow, probably was like 19 or 21. Well, let me think.
Jesus.
About 20 years old, 19 or 20 years, about 20 years old.
Yeah.
I diagnosed with it. It hasn't been easy, you know what I
No.
mean? But
Because you were manic the other day when we went out. You were manic. You just couldn't
yeah,
sit
yeah,
still, and I could feel that. And I'm like, oh my, I can't imagine, and I couldn't, and I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to be you, brother. And that's not, I'm not, that's not a knock on you, but that's the courage that you have. That you can
yeah,
live that way. I can't do it, and I can do this, and I can be blind, and all this, and it gets tough, and I get to moments, but I just, I wouldn't want to be you or anybody else really. So amen to Dan for having to deal with this stuff inside and all this crap, and the doctor's giving you all that stuff all those years.
yeah,
I mean, oh my God. And so you just go back in and they readjust your medication and you get back out. And that's the same routine, right? Pretty much. Is that what happens? Like you get in a bad spot, you go back in the hospital, they adjust your meds, and then you get back out again.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow. See, that ain't, and that's all you can do. And how many are you on now? Like 11, 12?
yeah, yeah,
And you got stuff to help you sleep at night, and Jesus.
yeah,
you know, be the light, and everyone, like I said, we're not, everyone's here, everyone has a story. You can't judge a book by its cover, and love's a choice, and so's the hate. And I mean, you're not perfect, and you called me about 8:45 last night. I was trying to sleep, but that's okay. Just try to remember, unless you needed me, but you didn't say you needed me in the voicemail. Remember, if you need me, leave a voicemail saying, "Hey, I need to talk, and I'll call you back."
yeah,
So I
yeah.
know it's important, but
Hey Joey, I'm sorry that I cut you off. I was watching the fight outside my window.
uh-oh.
So
But yeah, remember that, right? You called. It was almost 9 last night. I was already in bed.
yeah, yeah,
But if you need me, leave the voicemail. But that's why I didn't call back because I was sick and laying there trying to sleep, and you called and didn't leave a voicemail again. Remember? You
yeah,
called and
yeah,
just hung up. So I'm like, does he need to talk? I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I'm here for you, and I know you're there for me. That's all it is. That's being good. That's being there for someone. And like I said, God don't judge you for what you can give because He knows what you can give. If you can just answer the phone, or if you can just give
yeah,
give
yeah, yeah,
give a quarter in the freaking collection. I mean, that's cheap. I'd rather just not give anything. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But just give what you can give. It doesn't matter what it is. If you can give someone a sandwich or help them, give them $1 to help. I used to be on the corner, and sometimes people would come up and give me bus money, and I'm waiting on the bus.
yeah, yeah,
$5 bill handed to me. I'm like, oh, well, amen. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people that won't do nothing, and people don't have anything to give. So if you give, that puts you in the glory in the eyes of God, right there. So,
yeah, yeah.
so your latest time, what happened when you broke down your last time here in the hospital that you had to go in?
I can't remember, Joe.
It just happened. It's just so much, yeah. So you got to get out of
Yeah,
that,
it did
dude.
better though this time, but I had to fight for it. I was
Yeah.
fighting
Oh
for it
yeah,
too.
yeah. What happened? You said the devil was getting into you, but then you said that God talked to you and He told you to get through it. So that's all that matters. So
Yeah,
basically, you're schizo, and that when that kicks in, and you hear stuff and you see stuff, it's good stuff now though, right? Before it was kind of bad in the past,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but now it's good. If you hear stuff, it's like God telling you that you're better and all that. It's not like something telling you that you're no good or kill your. It ain't that kind of thing. So, but it used to be, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you need,
I just gotta work,
you got to.
you know,
Yeah.
protect myself whenever it comes upon me.
Yes. Let God in. Read a Bible verse. Retell. Just remind yourself one. Call me. Whatever you have to do. It doesn't matter. Just do something positive, though. Nothing bad,
Yeah,
because then you're
yeah,
self-destructing yourself. Okay.
yeah,
It's like two evils. It doesn't work. So,
yeah,
love yourself when you need it.
yeah.
Amen. Oh, I gotta write. Hey Google, I want you to remember, love yourself when you need it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And then
I'll
guess
remember
what?
that.
I just got that. That was Spirit just spoke to me here. That's, yeah.
You know the good, you know the best, one of the best verses there is.
Yeah, but we're gonna end it with this. Tell us, preach to us, Dan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Psalm 23 says you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Can you imagine dwell?
Oh
It
yeah.
means live. It means hang out, dwell.
Yes, yes, yes.
Everything you're going to do, you're going to be dwelling in the house of the Lord forever.
Forever. Yeah, we
Isn't
don't
that
die.
awesome?
I don't believe
Yeah.
we die. We're gonna keep going forever and ever. Whether you
Yeah.
believe we come back again and again, which I do, kind of like a video game, because we can't do it all at once. I mean, that's it's too short. So we come,
Yeah.
but we don't die. Our soul just continues, and that's the most
Yeah.
important thing you have. Nobody can take it from you, and don't let anybody corrupt it. You know,
Yeah.
you got free will. God gave that to you. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking out the window.